In the last video, we looked at doing long division with polynomials. In this video, we want to do something called synthetic division. And you're going to think that this makes things so much easier than doing long division. So on any problem where you can do synthetic division, it is probably easier. A problem like x cubed minus 14x squared plus 51x minus 54 divided by x plus 2 is going to be easier using synthetic division. Problems that you can't use synthetic division on are things like if I had this same polynomial divided by x squared plus 2. I can't do that. This has to be a linear factor in order for me to use something called synthetic division. Alright, so how do we do this? Well, first we take what we're dividing by and we find our value of x. If I am looking at a factor x plus 2 is equal to 0, then I am saying that x is equal to negative 2. So I take that negative 2, what x is equal to, and I put it in a box. And then I write the coefficients for all the terms in my polynomial, leaving none out. And we'll see one in the next problem why that's important. If you're missing one, you've got to fill it in with a 0. So I'm going to take the coefficients here. So the coefficient of x cubed is 1. The coefficient of negative 14x squared is negative 14. The coefficient of 51x is 51. And then the constant term is negative 54. And I write down all of those coefficients. Just write them there, in order. Here's the process. The first number comes down. I multiply by the number in the box. So 1 times negative 2. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. It goes right here in the next spot. And then I add down. Negative 14 plus negative 2 is negative 16. And then you repeat until you run out of numbers. Negative 16 times negative 2 is positive 32. Add down. 83. Multiply by the number in the box. Negative 166. Add down. Negative 220. Right, so what did I find? Well, I like to draw double lines here. This is my remainder. It's negative 220. This is a polynomial. X squared minus 16x plus 83, remainder negative 220, is the result of dividing x cubed minus 14x squared minus plus 51x minus 54 by x plus 2. So x plus 2 times this would give me this polynomial. Well, what does that tell me? It tells me I didn't have a remainder of 0 here. That tells me that x plus 2 is not a factor of that polynomial. So if I'm trying to factor, find x-intercepts, find solutions, x minus 2 is not a factor of that, or x plus 2 is not a factor of that polynomial. All right, let's try one more of these for practice. So let's clear this one off. And let's try the problem x cubed minus 57x plus 56 divided by x minus 7. Right, x cubed minus 57x plus 56 divided by x minus 7. So what number is going to go in the box? Well, x minus 7, that's what I'm dividing by, equals 0, x is equal to 7. So I'm trying to find out if x equals 7 is a solution to this polynomial. So 7 goes in the box. And now I write down all the coefficients. Coefficient of x cubed is 1, but there's no x squared term. I have to fill it in. If you leave that out, you're not going to get the right answer. I need a 0 for the x squared term. Coefficient of the x term is minus 57. And then the constant term is 56. And we follow the same process we learned before. The first number comes down, always. So the first term is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. Multiply by the number in the box. Add down. 0 plus 7 is 7. Multiply by the number in the box. 7 times 7 is 49. Add down. Negative 57 plus 49 is negative 8. Multiply by the number in the box. Negative 8 times 7 is negative 56. Add down. We get 0. What was my remainder here? My remainder was 0. That means x minus 7 is a factor of this polynomial. Well, what does this mean? Well, this is the remainder. This is the constant term. We're going up in powers here. So this is minus 8. This is the x term, plus 7x. This is the x squared term, which means that I can say that x cubed minus 57x plus 56 factors as, or is equal to, x minus 7 times x squared plus 7x minus 8. Well, if I was trying to put this into fully factored form, or I was trying to solve this by factoring, I could now factor this quadratic on the end and say that that polynomial factors as x minus 7 times x plus 8 times x minus 1, because x squared plus 7x minus 8 factors as x plus 8 times x minus 1. All right, so procedure for synthetic division. Take what you're dividing by, set it equal to 0, solve for x. That number goes in the box. Write all of your coefficients. Don't leave any out. Put in zeros for anything that's missing. First number comes down. Multiply by the number in the box. Add down. Multiply by the number in the box. Add down. Multiply by the number in the box. Add down until you run out of numbers. Starting from the right, your answers will be the remainder, the constant, the x squared. If there was a term after that, it would be x cubed. The next one would be x to the 4th, and so on. Synthetic division, a really quick way to do division of polynomials.